Good morning dear students, this is your Sudha ma'am. Welcome to the second session of lesson 4, that is excretion, the wastage disposing system. In our previous class, we have studied about why is excretory system needed to organisms and external structure and location of kidney. In this session, we will continue the excretory system in humans and internal structure of kidney. Human excretory or urinary system consists of 4 parts, that is a pair of kidneys, a pair of ureters, urinary bladder and urethra. We have already studied about the external structure and location of kidney. Before learning about ureters, let us revise once the structure of kidneys. In human beings, there is a pair of bean-shaped kidneys, bean-shaped, and the color is reddish brown. These are bean-shaped and reddish brown structures and located in the abdominal cavity attached to the dorsal body wall, and they are located on either side of the backbone, and the right kidney is slightly lower than the left kidney. That is because of the liver, which is the largest gland in the body, and size and all already we learnt. And the inner side of the each kidney has a hilus or an opening, and this opening is meant for the entry of renal artery, which carries the oxygenated blood to the kidneys, and for the exit of renal vein and ureter. The renal vein brings out the deoxygenated blood out of the kidney, and the waste products generated in various organs of the body are filtered and removed by the kidneys. That is the main function of the kidneys. They filter the waste products which are generated in various organs of the body during the metabolic activities. Now, moving on to the ureters. There are a pair of whitish, narrow, distensible and muscular tubes 30 centimeters length. So, these are white in color and very narrow tubes and distensible. Distensible means capable of expand, that means they can stretch themselves, and muscular, they are made up of muscular tubes and 30 centimeters in length, and each ureter arises from the hilus of the, hilus means the opening of the kidney. It moves down obliquely and opens into the urinary bladder. The main function of ureters are they carry the urine from the kidney to the urinary bladder, and this movement of urine is peristaltic movement. That means already we learnt about the peristaltic movement of alimentary canal or esophagus, the rhythmic contraction and relaxation of muscles to move the food or any substance forward is called peristalsis, and here the urine from the urinary bladder from the kidney to the urinary bladder also move in the same manner, that is peristalsis, and it is the function of ureters to bring the kidney to bring the urine from kidney to the urinary bladder, and there is no sphincter between ureters and urinary bladders, but as they are obliquely arranged, this prevents the entry of urine, re-entry of urine into the ureters from urinary bladder. And now coming to the next part, that is urinary bladder. It is a median, pear-shaped and distensible sac that occurs in the pelvic part of the abdomen. So, pear-shaped structure, and it also expands, stretchable, and it is located in the pelvic part of the abdomen. Pelvic part means nothing but the lower part of the trunk, and this area provides support to the intestines, urinary bladder, and the repair to system. The reparative parts are protected in this area. So, it stores the urine brought by the ureters. The main function of the urinary bladder is it stores the urine which is brought by ureters from the kidney, and its capacity is 300 to 800 milliliters. And coming to urethra, it is a tube that takes urine from the urinary bladder to outside. So, it is a small tube which take out the urine from the outside of, from the body. The opening of urinary bladder into urethra is guarded by a ring of muscles or sphincter. So, the opening, that means urinary bladder and urethra, in between a sphincter muscle, a ring of muscles called sphincter is present. And there is a difference in urethra in both male and females. Urethra is 4 centimeters long in females, and it is meant for the passing of only urine. And in males it is 20 centimeters length, and it is called vestibule. And it is meant for the passage of both urine as well as the semen in males. In females it sent out only the urine, but in males it is meant for the exit of both urine as well as the semen or sperms. The sperms are nothing but the male gametes. Hence, it is called, in males it is called urinogenital duct. This is about the excretory system in humans. Now, moving on to the next topic, that is internal structure of kidney. On observing LS of kidney, it shows two distinct regions. Dark colored outer zone called renal cortex and pale inner zone called renal medulla. Renal, the word is related to kidney. Whenever renal artery, renal vein, renal cortex, renal, whenever you come across the word renal, it is related to kidney. In the renal medulla, there are 5 to 13 triangular structures are present called renal pyramids. These are known as renal pyramids, and these are separated by a connective tissue of renal columns. At the tip of each medullary pyramid lies a pointed aperture called renal papillae. The apex is called, apex is having an opening called renal papillae. Papillae is plural, papilla singular. Each renal papilla drains into collective pool called minor calyx. Several minor calyces are connected to form 2 or 3 major calyx, and these major calyces are connected to the single renal pelvis, which is connected to the ureters. Each kidney is made up of approximately more than 1.3 to 1.8 million microscopic thin tubular structures called nephrons. So, the nephrons, what is the number? 1.3 to 1.8 millions in each kidney, and we cannot able to see them because these are microscopic structures, very thin tubular structures. These are also known as uriniferous tubules or kidney tubules, uriniferous tubules or kidney tubules, and these are the functional units of kidney. We will say no, the cell is the structural and functional unit of the body. Like that, the nephrons are the structural units of the kidney. The actual process of filtration of waste materials takes place by the nephrons. Hence, these are called functional units of kidney. Now, let us learn about the structure of nephron. Each nephron has two parts, Malpighian body and renal tubule, and these are further divided as follows. Nephron has two parts, that is Malpighian body and renal tubule. Malpighian body again further divided into Bowman's capsule and glomerulus, whereas renal tubule further divided into PCT, that is first or proximal convoluted tubule, loop of Henle and distal convoluted tubule, or second or distal convoluted tubule. Let us learn about these structures one by one. Malpighian body. It consists of two parts. A cup shaped broad end of nephron is called Bowman's capsule. This broad end of the nephron is called Bowman's capsule, and a bunch of fine blood capillaries called glomerulus, and this tuft or this bunch of blood capillaries is called glomerulus. Glomerulus is developed from efferent arteriole. And what is this efferent arteriole? Renal artery, we all know that renal artery carries blood to the kidneys, and in the kidney it divides further again and it divides into many branches, and finally it forms into small blood arterioles called efferent arterioles. These efferent arterioles enter into the each Bowman's capsule. Later, it divides into a bunch of thin capillaries called glomerulus. In the Bowman's capsule, again it further divides into capillaries, a fine tuft of capillaries called glomerulus, which are meant for filtration. And again these are reunited and forms efferent arteriole. Please observe the difference, children. Efferent arteriole, AFFERENT, and the blood vessel which is coming out of the Bowman's capsule is called efferent, EFFERENT, efferent arteriole. So, it enters as efferent arteriole, forms glomerulus and comes out of the Bowman's capsule as efferent arteriole. And if you observe the diameter of these two arterioles, the diameter of efferent arteriole, that means the arteriole which is coming out of the Bowman's capsule, the diameter of the efferent arteriole is narrower than the efferent arteriole. This is slightly narrow when compared to the efferent arteriole. This exerts pressure in the glomerulus, so the filtration takes place in the glomerulus. And the Bowman's capsule is lined by a single layer of squamous epithelial cells called podocyte cells. So, the Bowman's capsule has only single layer of cells called podocyte cells, and these cells are made up of squamous epithelial cells, and there are fine pores between the podocyte cells, and these pores allow the passage of materials filtered out of the glomerulus. So, whatever the filtered materials are there, they enter into the this Bowman's capsule, this Y-shaped structure, as podocytic cells, podocytes are having the pores. Next, coming to the next part, that is renal tubule. The second part of the nephron is called renal tubule, and it has three parts. First are proximal convoluted tubule, that is PCT. We call it as proximal convoluted because it is nearer to the Bowman's capsule, hence called proximal convoluted tubule. And this U-shaped structure is called loop of Henle. It is a hairpin like structure, U-shaped structure, what we call it as loop of Henle. And this is called, the next one is second or distal convoluted tubule, DCT. As it is away from the Bowman's capsule, we will call it as a DCT, distal convoluted tubule. The glomerular filtrate, that means whatever the glomerulus filtrate is there, that passes into the PCT, loop of Henle and DCT, and finally to the collecting duct. And all these ducts, because we have so many millions of nephrons, 1.3 to 1.8 millions of nephrons is there. So, all these nephrons are connected to different ducts, and these ducts connected, and they lead to the pelvis, and ultimately pelvis of the kidney, and ultimately to the ureter. And all the parts of the renal tubule are covered by a network of peritubular capillaries formed from the efferent arteriole. So, this PCT, DCT and loop of Henle, all these are covered by blood capillaries. And where are from these blood capillaries? The efferent arteriole, which comes out of the Bowman's capsule, extends, and further it divides into many capillaries and surrounds the PCT, loop of Henle and DCT. This is called peritubular network, which is meant for the exchange of materials between renal tubule and blood capillaries. So, these blood capillaries are surrounding this renal tubule, and exchange of materials takes place, which we will learn in our next session. And the peritubular capillaries join to form renal venule, which joins the other venules and form finally the renal vein. The renal vein brings out the deoxygenated blood, which is free from waste materials. It is deoxygenated blood, but free from waste materials, because waste materials are already filtered in the nephrons or kidneys, and it brings the waste deoxygenated blood free from waste materials from the kidney and pass it to the inferior vena cava. This is all about the internal structure of kidney. Let us recapitulate today's topics. Today we have learnt about the excretion in humans and internal structure of kidney. That's all for today. Meet you in your next session. Thank you.